वाहिगुरु साहिब जियो। हम अवगुण परे एक गुण नाही, अमृत छाड़ बिखे बिख खाही। माया मोह परम पै पूले, सुत तारा स्यो प्रीत लगाई। एक उत्तम पंथ सुनियो गुर संगत, त्रह मिलंत जम त्रास मिटाई। एक अरदास पाठ कीरत की, गुरु रामदास राखो सरनाई। जो हमरी बिद होती मेरे सतगुरा, सा बिद तुम हर जानो आपे। हम रुलते फिरते कोई बात ना पूछता, गुर सतगुर संग कीरे हम थापे। तन तन गुरु नानक जन केरा, चित मिलिए चूके सब सोग संतापे। गुरु ग्रंथ साहब जी की पाठी साध संगत जी, राम के फतेह भाई जी। वाहिगुरु जी का खालसा, वाहिगुरु जी की फतेह। साध संगत जी, शुरू में मैं दसना कि कथा दे माफ़ी हैगी है अंग्रेजी में ज़्यादा होगी, क्योंकि जिवें सानू सद्या हैगा वही बेनती सी कि जी नई पनीरी हैगी उन्होंने अंग्रेजी में समझाना सिक्खी की है। ये साडा फर्ज बनता हैगा। कहाँ जिन्होंने प्यास लगी हैगी उन्होंने आपे ही पंजाबी सीख लेनी हैगी है, गुरमुखी सीख लेनी है, बहुत जरूरी हैगी है। ये तो फिर पाठ किवें करना हैगा। असी गुरमुखी लिपि ज ना सीखीए तो फिर गुरमुख किवें बनीए। जी गुरमुखी हैगी उन्हें फिर गुरमुख बनाना हैगा। हम कीर्तन के नाल ही असीं कुछ करना हैगा। कीर्तन कलयुग विच प्रधान हैगा। जे कोई कीर्तन अंग्रेजी करना चाहे तो वह नहीं कर सकता, क्योंकि वो कच्ची बाणी होगी। तो सच्ची बाणी हैगी है गुरु ग्रंथ साहिब विच दर्ज, उन्होंने असी कीर्तन विच गुरमुखी विच ही पढ़ेंगे, गुरमुखी विच ही गावांगे। So the katha is going to be in English. I'm going to do a request to all the brothers and sisters that are out there. Make the effort to learn Gurmukhi. Sometimes it can seem a bit scary. Sometimes it can seem a bit hard. But believe you me, it's very easy actually. Maharaj made it for us. And Maharaj made everything simple. Simple for the masses. Religion was very complicated. They made religion very simple. Even the Rahat was complicated. They made it very simple. And even the kakars, if you look at it, they're not very costly. Somebody asked me the other day, why have you got Sarab Lokadi? I said, because it's the cheapest metal out there. You don't have to be rich to own a Sarab Lokada. That's why Maharaj is for the common person, Sikhi is for the common person. And even the Rahat, the way we live in Gristi Jeevan, we are married, this is also for the common person. We're not trying to encourage a life of living up in the mountains. That means that Sikhi is for every single one of us. And that means that Gurmukhi is also for every single one of us. If you're finding it hard to learn Gurmukhi, you can go on our YouTube channel, Basic Sikhi, or you can take a leaflet from up here, and you can just go on the playlist called Learning Gurmukhi. And we've gone through why somebody should learn Gurmukhi, and then also how they can learn Gurmukhi very quickly. So Sangat ji, आज का जो टॉपिक हैगा वो ये है कि जेडे आजकल दुनिया में बहुत सारे लोग हैगे एथियस्ट, जिन्हां विच रब विच कोई विश्वास नहीं, साकत कह लो। And Bani Maharaj says that don't even go near somebody who is an atheist or a disbeliever. Run away from that person. Why would an atheist be so repellent? For a Sikh, the reason why an atheist is not someone we should be hanging out with is because that person is questioning the very existence upon which a Sikh is born. They don't believe in Ik or Ankar. They believe the world is here, but they don't say the Ik. Now, by not believing in the Ik, Sikhi is just, there's no root. It's a mool matlab keh lo, it's a beej mantar from Ik. But the thing is in the world, you know, there's obviously Bradford, you know, Islam is quite big up here. And they like to say that the fastest growing religion. But the census says that the fastest growing group is atheism. This idea of not believing in God is the biggest thing out there now. And there's so many people that are like preachers of atheism, you might call them, or online books that they write, like a book, horrible book to read, God is not great. All these books are out there. Sasangaji, we as a Sikh Panth have a duty to the rest of the world to share our Guru's wisdom. You see, they criticize religions like Islam, Christianity, and even Guru Maharaj criticizes those religions. But Sasangaji, the Sikh has a duty to the rest of the world to explain Maharaj's philosophy, because Maharaj's philosophy answers most of these problems. So let's go through some of the arguments that people make about religion. Ki fir Maharaj ne ki kehna ude bare. This example, because if it's the Sikh, what is a Sikh? A Sikh is somebody who's following Guru. But in every family of Sikh, there are people that are not Sikh in that family as well. ਜਿਹੜੇ ਨਹੀਂ ਮੰਨਦੇ, ਜਿਹੜਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਵਿਸ਼ਵਾਸ ਕਰਦੇ, ਹਰ ਇੱਕ ਪਰਿਵਾਰ ਵਿੱਚ ਬਹੁਤ ਸਾਰੇ ਲੋਕੀ ਹੈਗੇ ਆ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਨੂੰ ਕੋਈ ਵਿਸ਼ਵਾਸ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈਗਾ ਕਿ ਪਾਠ ਕਰਨਾ ਚਾਹੀਦਾ, ਸਵੇਰੇ ਨਿਤਨੇਮ ਕਰਨਾ ਚਾਹੀਦਾ, ਕਿ ਗੁਰਦੁਆਰੇ ਜਾਣ ਦਾ ਕੋਈ ਫਲ ਹੈਗਾ. They think of it as culture, and it's very easy. If you look at me when I was 21, I believed the same thing. I was essentially an atheist. I just believed in my Guru, but I didn't believe in a God that I was going to take a step towards. It's not enough to say I believe in God. Kuch karna bhi penda hai. So let's go through what arguments are normally thrown at us all the time, whether we go to school or in our families. People talk about these things. The first one people often say, not for the Sikhs, but for outside, they will say, oh, if you are part of a religion and you go away from the religion, then the punishment is death. Je koi Islami hoye, Musliman hoye, then Musliman dharm nu chhad deve, onu maar dende hege. तुसी टीवी ते देख लो, YouTube देख लो, they see clips, they show clips of people that were beheaded कि उन्होंने छाड़ता वो धर्म. So संगत जी, most of the world says कि तुसी जितने धर्मी लोग हैं ना, तुसी freedom नहीं देंदे लोगों को. You stop people having freedom. और असी देखिए कि सिक्खी विच एक example हैगा, जिधर कि असी सारे जानते हैं, ओदा relevance असी जानते इस for this question. The 40 mukte were people that we recognize. And we held Mai Pagwaji and the other women that brought the men back. In the Western world, in a wartime situation, you can't abandon the war. First World War, Second War, which bahut sare naujawan, 19, 16, 17-year-olds were shot dead for desertion. Ki unhone jang vele jang nu chhadda, and they went home. Now, in Guru Maharaj's own Hazuri, some people in a battle situation left the battle and went home. But Guru Gobind Singh Ji Maharaj did not punish them. They said, "Tusi likh davo ki tusi mere Sikh nahi, te tusi jao." But they gave the jawab to Guru Maharaj and they left. So I said, in a battle situation, and also that was the religious leader, wasn't it? In a religion, they don't let you turn away. This is the leader of that religion allowing you to turn away. That is the biggest example of religious freedom anybody could think about. That the head of the religion, and also in a wartime situation, is letting 40 men leave a battle. Look at the morale might have happened. In the army, the reason they shot dead the young children was because they said ki ennu je chhadta te sare chhad jange. Unhe dar la kita, they had dar ki rehna hai, otherwise I'll get shot dead. Better to fight the Germans and die than to get shot by my own people as a coward. Ki meri patni hovegi, I won't have any honor in this world. And here we have a Guru Gobind Singh Ji Maharaj themselves letting them go. That's freedom in Sikhi. Sikhi is about following from your dil. It's not from being forced into it. Now, when we're children, obviously our parents will say ki path padna hai. Yeah? But at one point the child grows up, when they get to 16, 17 years old, they grow up, and then you realize that Sikhi is about you yourself following it. That's why we see Amritari families with kids that are munne. That's why we see more Amritaris in families that are all munne is one Amritari. Because the reality is that everybody has to follow their own path. And Maharaj recognized that reality. And they said ki karmi apo apni, ke nede, ke dur. It's up to us how close we want to go to our Guru. Maharaj is here, Sajjan Sacha Paatshah, Sir Shahade Shaho, jis paas baiti hai, so he hai. Sabna dave sab. He's here, but it's up to us how close we want to sit to him, how close we want to follow him. Now some people say, you know what, you religious people, you don't like any debate. ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਕੋਈ ਸਵਾਲ ਪੁੱਛੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਡਰ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਹੈਗੇ ਹੋ, ਆਕੜ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਹੈਗੇ ਹੋ, you get angry. ਸਾਧ ਸੰਗਤ ਜੀ, Sikhi is about ਵਿਚਾਰ. That's one of the key things that Maharaj just told us. ਥਾਲ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ 3 ਵਸਤੂ ਪਈਓ, ਸਤ, ਸੰਤੋਖ, ਵਿਚਾਰ. These 3 things make up Sikhi: the truth, contentment, and thinking. Vichar. Sikhi is about vichar actually. What we're doing now is vichar as well. Maharaj has given us this marg of vichar. And what is the crime for questioning what is Sikhi? No? Maharaj said, oh, do Q&As. In the old days, in the Gurdwara, there used to be a lot of vichar classes. Hun ki ho raha hai? When we go to a Gurdwara, we say to our kids, "Bachyo, this is a school. Guru is a teacher." And then they say to them, you know, you're a Sikh, you're a student. But Sahib Sangat ji, how many kids go to schools where they have no classes? What's happening nowadays is, there's not a lot of classes. What you're getting now is assembly. You know? Somebody sitting at the front, talking to the whole crowd of different types. That's assembly. Now ideally what would happen is, you come to Gurdwara, and they'd have a small Gurdwara like here, not massive one, you get a big hall, and stuffed full of people, but a small Gurdwara, and then you have loads of classes all around, like I know they have here classes, no? But there should be more and more classes for every level. But if you come down south, I'm from down south, do I know? If you come right down south to where London is, what you see is massive Gurdwara, 20 million or so pounds spent on them, and not one classroom, just 2 big halls. So what are we doing? There's no vichar. People are forgetting that vichar is a foundation of Sikhi. Ki sawal puchna theek hai. Nothing wrong with asking questions, and we should be able to help people answer their questions. But also Sikhi is something very interesting. It's very flexible. Most religions, they try to put their rules down in law. For example, in Islam they have Sharia law. In Judaism they have a law as well. And you see how big the study books are for Islamic law. There's so many people, they spend their whole career becoming an expert in Sharia law. There's so many people that become an expert in Christian law, in Judaic law. What about Sikhs? We haven't got any experts in Sikh law. Huh? There's no Rehat Mirad experts. Why? Because our Rehat Mirad is only 24 angs, 24 pages long. It's so small. Yeah? Sikhi is actually allowing a lot of flexibility, and the most important flexibility is the Panj Pyare. Maharaj just said right at the very beginning that the Panj Pyare are their very form. Wherever there's a problem in Sikhi, we don't have to go back to a rule book. We can use the Panj Pyare to make a decision based upon sensibility. What's sensible option at this time? Now one argument that a lot of people use, and even in my family and other people, they say, look, बहुत सारे वक्रे वक्रे धर्म हैगे है ना जी, कहते सारे नहीं ठीक हो सकते, they can't all be right. तो ਇਹਦਾ मतलब सारे ही गलत हैगे, because they're all saying we are the truth. Now if you have 10 people saying we are the truth, then the average person doesn't believe in any of them, will say they must all be wrong, because how can I decide what is true, what is not true? So in Sikhi, even now, people are starting to think this way. Before we say, you know what, all religions are good, but that's wrong as well. Not all religions are good. Jedi is a religion out there. I wouldn't call Jedi a religion that we should be following. So what is the way to just look at this? You've got many different religions who are conflicting, and also you've got this idea that some people say nowadays, everybody is good. But if everybody is good, why do we believe what we believe? The thing here is to understand what is the truth. Such a hairki. Such is one of those things which is outside of religion. Such is 100%. What is 100% is truth. Now, what you've got here is a sliding scale. 0 truth over here and 100% truth over here. And in between are all the different religions. You might say, some religions have some part of the truth, other religions have other parts of the truth. I'll give you an example. If I'm a maths student and I study maths at school, I'm very good at trigonometry, for example. I'm the best in trigonometry. But I don't know anything about calculus. But somebody somewhere will be an expert in all those areas, but there still will be some areas they're not an expert in. But if you found a book with all the maths in the world, that would be Sikhi. Everything that every religious person anywhere in the world ever wanted to do to get to Vaheguru, that feeling is captured in Guru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj. It's Jagat Guru. But other people may have parts of that science, parts of that truth. That's why we respect other religions, but it doesn't mean we accept them as being the truth in the same way we expect Sikhi as being the truth. Sikhi is 100% the truth. For us, other religions, other dharams, are sort of along that path. But also people say, you know what, you people, religious people, you're just trying to convert everybody. That's one of the biggest arguments we've got in Sikhi. We're not trying to convert anybody. And when we do street prachar, I'm pretty sure that at the moment we're probably one of the few groups in the world that's out there in the West trying to do street prachar. But when we go and talk to people, a beautiful thing we can say to them is, we're not trying to convert you. We're just trying to teach you what is Sikhi. That's a very unique method in the world. Most of the world will say, become one of us to get to God. Sikhi is one of those dharams which doesn't say that. It says, follow the truth to get to God. The truth is that we're all equal. The truth of the Vaheguru is inside us. That truth, that message of the truth, which isn't bound to a religion, is very unique. Because most of the time people say, if you don't believe what I believe, then you're going to go to hell. Sikhi is one of those beliefs that says, follow the truth, don't just necessarily follow our religion. Like if we meet a Christian person, I met a Muslim guy in Canada, and he said, look, I like Sikhi, but I love my religion, I don't want to leave it. So what would we say to him? And he heard somebody say, look, I'm Christian, I love being Christian, but I don't want to leave Christianity, but I love Islam. The Muslim was saying, you're not leaving Christ behind, become a Muslim anyway. He would keep on pushing him to become a Muslim. What I said to this guy is, why don't you wake up in the morning and say your tasbih, 99 names of Allah. Tu mala fir ke naam jap leve Allah de. He was a bit surprised, taken back. He didn't believe me. He goes, are you sure you don't want to convert me? I said, I'm sure. Tusi bas fere ut ke naam jap lavo with hiraya. In the house of Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj, we just want people to jump an arm. We don't want people to say that they're Sikhs. We want them to live that life of spirituality and morality. Shubh amla. And the best amal, the best good work we can do in this world is Ram Naam or Naam. Now, one thing that I talked about last time was that Sikhi doesn't have devil. Very interesting idea of the devil, because everybody tries to blame the devil for somebody. Or the devil made me do it. It's very common in America when you capture some mass killer who say, oh, I heard some voices in my head, the devil made me do it. We've got no such shaitan in Sikhi. The shaitan in Sikhi is inside all of us. Kaam, Krodh, Lobh, Moh, Ahankar. These are our problems. But these are not the problems that we blame on somebody else. It's our own fight. Maharaj says in Bani, Kaam, Krodh, Nagar Meh Sabla. Nit nit uthe, jooj karije. Every day I wake up and I fight against Kaam and Krodh. These things that are my real enemies. Just look at a few more ideas. Some people say, well, I don't like religions. They believe the world is going to end. There's going to be an apocalypse. Out there all the time, there's loads of people that believe the world is going to end. In fact, they're trying to end the world to bring about the apocalypse. Why are they trying to end the world to bring the apocalypse around? Because when the apocalypse comes, then those people that are believers will get into heaven. Those people that are not believers will not get into heaven. Now, if you wanted to get into heaven and you're a believer, then you want the world to end. There's a bit of a disincentive there to keep the world going nicely. You know? Sikhi is one of those religions that doesn't want to end the world. It wants to make Satjug here. One Jehovah's Witness lady knocked on my door once, and she said, she was a Punjabi, you know? Punjabi became a Christian, Jehovah's Witness. And she was talking, she goes, are you waiting for Satjug? And I said, huh? She didn't put that Satjug. I said, no, we're not waiting for Satjug. She said, oh really? She goes, I was told you're waiting for Satjug. I said, no, we're going to make Satjug. And that took her back a bit. So Khalsa has been given the hukum of making Satjug upon the earth. Not just waiting for Satjug to come here. Sada kam hi hega ki dharam chalavan. We are here to spread dharam. Guru Gobind Singh Ji said, I've come upon the world to establish Dharm. Now what is Dharm? Dharm is described in Guru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj as a table with 4 legs. And as you break the legs off, you go lower and lower away from Dharm. With 3 legs, the table is a bit wobbly, but it stands up. That's Treta. Treta Yug. Then you break 1 more leg, and then it flops over sideways, yeah? Can't put anything on there. But it's still solid as it stands, as it is bent. But still then, if you break 1 more leg, without koi faida nahi. Whichever you touch it from, it wobbles. That's the current world. From Satyug to Treta to Dwapar to Kaljug now, there's hardly any truth left in the world. Most of the world is not trying to teach us the truth whatsoever. In any way, the news mostly are lies, the government is on our lies, every kind of law out there is based upon some kind of pakhand behind it. Reality-wise, in this world, truth is very hard to find. That's what Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj says, ki Kaljug is Kood Amavas. And dekho, Amavas means that moonless night. If you go out in the world, and it's dark, totally dark, there's no moon, there's no sun, there's no stars, it's very dark. That's Kaljug, Kood Amavas Vartya. And in that Kood Amavas, darkness of falsehood, up comes the truth of wisdom, the moon of wisdom, Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj. That's why we say Chand Chadiya. Sometimes people listen to that Shabad, they wonder, ki why are they singing Chand Chadiya for Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj? Why is Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj a Chand? Why are they a moon? Because in the dark moon, dark night of falsehood, of Kaljug, then came up the moon. And what does the moon do, Sasangaji? It reflects the sun. Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj reflects Vaheguru. That's what they're also the moon. Odi aapdi koi roshni hondi. Maharaj says, I speak as you make me speak. I say as you make me say. Jo bulavo tu Nanak Das bole. As they make me speak, Maharaj says, that's how they speak. Bani is a revelation. Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj is sent by God to reflect Vaheguru. Okay, let's keep going into some more ideas. So we don't believe in apocalypse, we don't believe in devil. Also, some of the things that are out there in nearly all religions, we don't agree with. Circumcision, very strange practice. And there's a banga, you see. If your Rehat Maryada says something which is a bit weird, then you start fighting against the law systems. And in Germany, they've banned it, circumcision. And they want to ban it here as well. So what's going to happen? Is that religion perfect for the rest of all mankind? No. There's always going to be a fight against medical knowledge. Now, child marriage. You might say, well, it's only the Islam that has it. It's not. Judaism has it as well. And Hinduism has it as well. Child marriage. But in Sikhi, there's no such concept. Maharaj says, when you get old enough, that's when you should be able to decide. So a lot of the moral arguments that people use against religion are based upon the laws of that religion. The Sikhi laws are so perfect, it's very hard to criticize anything in Sikhi. One thing that a lot of religious people say, a lot of atheists say to people that are religious, they say, you religious people, man, you take offense so easily. And it's very true. Religious people take a lot of offense, don't they? Sometimes you're scared of saying something to somebody who's a bit religious. They seem to be sort of like, you have like dynamite in a box. Don't move it around too much, it's going to blow up on you. It seems like, Jithe Maharaj kehte kal dati thanda har now, the world, Kaljug is very hot, and Maharaj says ki naam is very thanda, should calm you right down. But it's the opposite sometimes. It seems that religious people are almost like a powder keg. You don't want to shake them too much, they might blow up on you. Now, Sikhs are nowadays becoming a bit like that as well. It used to be that we were very thande people. It would take a long time to annoy somebody who was a Sikh. Because they used to sabr karte sige, they used to have some talk inside them. But nowadays it seems that you see, we get very angry very quickly. And I want to go back to 2 examples from our Itihas. How Maharaj showed us how to live. One example is by Guru Amar Das Ji Maharaj. We say about Guru Amar Das Ji in Ardas every day. We say, Nimanya ke maan, Nitanya ke taan, Neotya ke ot. Those are the titles given by Guru Angad Dev Ji Maharaj to Guru Amar Das Ji. Every year they would award them Saropa. And they would say, oh, Bhai Amru Ji, you are the Nimanya ke man. That Guru, was our third Guru. When they became the Guru, the son of Guru Angad Dev Ji, Bhai Datu Ji, wasn't very happy that he's become this Guru now. Because Bhai Datu Ji saw Baba Amru Ji every day turning up to their house with the water for Guru Angad Dev Ji's bath. And he was like a servant of the house. They were a das, they were a servant of Guru Angad Dev Ji. But one day Guru Angad Dev Ji made their servant into the king of all the Sikhs. And Bhai Datu Ji wasn't happy. And he went to Goindwal and they met Guru Amar Das sitting on their chair. And Bhai Datu Ji, in his hankar, told Guru Amar Das Ji to get up and get off the chair. So you don't deserve that chair, you're a servant of the house and now you're pretending to be the king. As Guru Amar Das Ji got up, they kicked Guru Amar Das Ji. Lattu mari si. Guru Amar Das Ji fell down. Now, what does Guru Amar Das Ji do next? What would we expect sometimes if it was a Sikh nowadays? What would we normally expect to see? Usi wali kripan kar kar sir varta hai na? What does Guru Amar Das Ji show us in their example? They say, dekho, just imagine in front of the whole Sangat, Guru Amar Das Ji has two options. What they're going to do? Show the Sikhs how to behave in things that are just, they're not really hurt. Their pride might be hurt, but they didn't have any pride, no? There was no hankar there. But really nothing had happened badly. Guru Amar Das Ji says, my bones are very old. Meri haddiyan badi budiya hagiyan, badi sakt hagiyan. They must have hurt your foot. And they started to rub Bhai Datu Ji's foot. Ki maaf kar dena. Satsang Ji, that's our Guru. They didn't have any hankar, no? There wasn't a pride of theirs that was injured because they didn't have that pride. And Bhai Datu Ji got ashamed. They realized what they were and what Guru Sahib was. Because Maharaj says, Aapas ko jo pala kahave, tise palai nikat na aave. Aapas ko jane nicha, so ganiye, sabte ucha. So Maharaj showed us there that taking offense over words, even a slap, is not big. You can just relax about that. We don't have to get angry about it. Karna ki. Look at then Guru Ram Das Ji Maharaj. When somebody made fun of your beard now, people will get offended. But our Guru Maharaj, Baba Sri Chand, the son of Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj, come to Amritsar and they make fun of Guru Ram Das Ji. They say, what's up with this long beard? They had a very famously long beard, huh? They say, what's up with this long beard? Guru Ram Das Ji says, my beard is long to clean the feet of saints like you. And they come down. And they get down, they start to clean Baba Sri Chand's feet with their beard. Baba Sri Chand gets very embarrassed. Sharam Agyan. And they realize, same thing. Guru is where he is because he has no ego. Everybody comes upon this earth and they want some ego. Maharaj says ki Satya man santok upje dene ke vichar. De. What do they give, yeah? People who want to give, they want some honor in this world, isn't it? Ardas dekh lo. Every ardas out there in most Gurdwara is now stealing the kamai of all the people that gave money to the Gurdwara. One time this Gurdwara is supposed to lead us and we actually steal the kamai of these people that are giving money to the Gurdwara, but we're giving them back hankar, that they said their name. Maharaj koi naam na jane mera. We're giving people poison in the ardas by reading their names out. Why? Because Maharaj says at that moment, when we were talking about ki, we're not supposed to say our names in ardas. Maharaj says, Satya man santok upje dene ke vichar de mange sehsa guna sob kare sansar. They give, but they want 100 times back, that the whole world knows their name. Sob mila, sobha milya. They get honor in this world for giving. We have to be very careful in the Gurdwara that in this house of Guru Nanak Dev Ji, only the truth should be allowed here. Not the falsity, only the truth. In this truth house, if we bring poison into this house, then the poison will spread everywhere. And the poison is that of hankar. Maharaj says, Tsokyo Vistre, Jin Sab Kich Diya. Waheguru gives everything. No one gives anything to Waheguru. So we shouldn't try and bring the poison into this Gurdwara. Because it's the core of truth. Carrying on. So, Sikhs now are getting very modern. They're becoming very offended very quickly. Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji Maharaj, when they became the Guru, of their own family, there were so many people that wanted to be the Guru. They were competing. And that's when Bhai Makhan Shah found Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji. When they found him, Satsang Ji, it wasn't as easy as that. Gula Dore. There was a bit more than that. Some of the other people that wanted to become the Guru, they shot Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji. They missed them, but they shot at them. And they stole all their stuff and they ran away. And Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji said, let them keep all my stuff, just bring me back my potiyan. I want my potiyan back. That was the beauty of our Guru. Let's talk about one more thing about becoming modern. You know, modern day Sikhs, yeah? One thing that they seem to be very keen upon is restricting other people's freedom. You know, we look at our example, we want to stop everybody doing something which is wrong. It's an example of our history that many people might not relate to this topic. There was once a very Chardikara Sikh called Bhai Jugraj Singh, very respected. Bhai Jugraj Singh loved his Guru, and he used to say, I'll do anything for my Guru. One day Guru Sahib tested him. On his wedding day, they called him, Bhai Jugraj Singh. In his lava, the message came, Sneha came, Guru Gobind Singh Ji is calling you. Bhai Jugraj Singh left his vyao, left and he went to his Guru. On the way though, it was his wedding night, it was a long journey, and he ended up staying somewhere. We know the story that he was tempted by Veshwadakar, a prostitute's house. He was tempted to go there. And Bhai Jugraj Singh was thinking about going in, and we know the story that Guru Gobind Singh Ji kept the para outside. They were standing outside that place, stopping Bhai Jugraj Singh from going in. So Satsang Ji, no one hears the story of Guru Gobind Singh Ji going into that Veshwadakar, destroying it, saying ki ye hona nahi chahita. We don't hear the story about that. We hear that Maharaj stopped his Sikh from going inside. We hear the story about Guru Gobind Singh Ji's horse not going into the field of Tambaku, ki jagat jhoot hai. But we don't hear the story of Guru Gobind Singh Ji setting fire to that whole crop, saying ki it shouldn't be growing. We should understand that Sikhi is that we control ourselves. A man should be controlling his eyes, not telling a woman to cover up. A man and a woman should be controlling their own actions. We should not be drinking alcohol. We shouldn't be smoking. We shouldn't be doing those things that are bajar kurets. But at the same time, we don't have to go out there and tell everybody else that you shouldn't be doing it as well, or just ban it, just have it banned. That's a very Hindu concept, a very Islamic concept. It shouldn't be allowed here. Now we're trying to think that Amritsar will be blessed when it becomes holy city status, so there can be no alcohol in the whole Amritsar. But there's always been alcohol in Amritsar. I don't remember Guru Amar Das ever passing a law, or Guru Ram Das ever passing a law ki hona nahi chahiye. These things always existed. Maharaj saying, Jaise jal mein kamal alep. As the kamal, the lotus flower, grows up in the mud and still remains unaffected by the lotus flower. Look how beautiful it looks. It's beautiful. If you had it in a glass jar in your house, it would look so beautiful. But where does it grow? It grows in the mud. And if you go into the mud, into the forest, and you see this picture, and then you see this beautiful lotus flower there, you'll say, wow. Even amongst all the mud, it grows as lotus. A Sikh is that kind of a lotus flower. Even amongst all the kharab come in the world, a Sikh still stands up there separate. If you look at the examples in our history, just recent history, Bibi Balpreet Kaur, in amongst all the stuff that we would expect to happen, when somebody criticized your appearance, they laughed at her because she looked like a man, they said, because she had her gaze on her face. She kept her gaze and people were laughing at her. Online, millions of people. What did she say? She said, I understand that you find it strange, but I belong to my Guru. My Guru teaches me that this body is nothing. I said, no one's going to stay nice and full. Pariya is nice and blossomed. No one's going to stay in blossom. Everybody's going to get old. Everybody's going to go away from this world. She says, but I understand that all I'll be remembered for is my actions, not necessarily what I look like. The truth. She spoke the truth. And that guy got so ashamed, he apologized. And she became famous. Huffington magazine, big blog, called her the religious person of the year. What did she do? Did she do like what Mother Teresa did? No. She just responded as a Sikh should to this kind of criticism. With love. With samjhana. They don't know. With Christianity, they have the saying, innit? Forgive them, Father. They know not what they do. Sikha bhi yahi kehte hain ki unhonu pata hi nahi, maaf kar do. Bure ka pala kar. Recently, a professor, I think Prabhat Singh his name was, he was attacked in New York. 20 African American men beat him up, almost to death. When they got him on the news, they said to him, what would you like to do to those people? He said, I'm very thankful. I'm very thankful that only half an hour before, my wife, she was pregnant, and my little girl, they would have been with me. But I'm thankful to Maharaj that they were not with me at that time. I'm gussa with my God that this happened to me. I got beaten up. What happened after 9/11? So many Sikhs cut their gaze because they were scared of getting beaten up. Here, Prabhat Singh, a professor who lives in Islam, chooses to live in Islam. He says, Maharaj, thank you so much. Adha ghanta ho gaya, or my daughter and my wife with their baby would have been hurt as well. This is called recognizing your blessings, being thankful. What happens next? He says, if I met those people again, I would invite them to the Gurdwara. I would bring them into my community and I would teach them about my religion. Whose fault is it that people don't know who we are? Is it the fault of the African American guys that don't get told who we are? Or is it our fault? Maharaj always says, if you point one finger out, so many fingers pointing back. We've not told anybody about what we believe. If you walk outside this Gurdwara, 200 meters, stop the average Gora, saying, what's that place up there? He'll say, that's where the Muslims go to. That's what happens to us on the street. We think, oh no, they must know about us. But we do street prachar. We talk to people on the street. They do not have a clue about us. Sadhi galti hai that wherever we go, we're not spreading the light. We're not spreading the Lord's message. We're keeping it to ourselves. This Gurdwara, and every Gurdwara in this country, is very dangerously close to becoming a mountain for us. You know, the yogis used to go up to the mountains and sit up there and do their bhakti. That's what our Gurdwara are becoming. They are our mountains. Guru Nanak Ji Maharaj is talking to the Siddhs, and they're saying, look at you, you're hiding up in the mountains. Chupe baithe parvati. Chupke baithe parvat vich. We are doing that. We come to our Gurdwara, do our religious bit. We go out in the world, keep our head down. We don't spread the message. But then we get beaten up, and we cry about it, and we go to the government, ki sanu kuch karo. Maharaj is giving us simple message. No, spread it. Aap japo, apna naam japavo. Not religion, but naam. I'm glad that in some places there is a light being shown. In Canada, in Toronto, the biggest food bank ever is run by Sikhs. But we should be doing that in every city. We got langar, should be giving langar to the people that need it. Guru Gobind Singh Ji and Guru Nanak Ji Maharaj says, Jithe need Somalian, tithe nadar teri bakshish. If we want kirpa, then look after the niche. Maharaj says, Badiyan so kya rees? He's not trying to compete with the big people. Nowadays it looks like with our Gurdwara becoming so big and our Gaddiyan becoming such fast and flash that we seem to be competing with the big Badiyan so kya rees. Maharaj says, Menu ki haga with the rich people, I'm trying to hang out with the poor people. When the Gurdwara starts to do that mentality, ki outside every Gurdwara there's a big sign saying free food here, every day, all day. Big sign saying, Manas ki jaat sab ek pechanbo. Obviously in English, no Punjabi. But the point is, when we start telling people what we are, what we believe, then we'll be blessed. Explain to people what our philosophy is really. I saw a Gurdwara in Portsmouth, had a big sign saying there is one God. So I was thinking, that's like loads of religions believe that. There's nothing special about that. You might well think we're a Muslim for saying that, because they believe in one God as well. They have Tawheed. We have something different. We have Guru Arjan Dev Ji Maharaj says, Sarv dharam mein shreshth dharam, har ko naam jap nirmal karam. That's the uniqueness of our message we should be showing the world. One question often people ask is about reincarnation and about proving God. I'll address that now. Because somebody asked me that the other day. They said, if God is so amazing, who made everything, why can't we see Him? They ask that question, how can you prove there's a God? People are always asking for a proof of God somehow. So I said, just imagine a world where you could sort of see God. Everybody could see God. What would happen in that world? Everybody would be good in it. If there was proof, scientific proof that there was God right now, and the scientists all believed in it, and they would all start doing dharma. They would all start living a good life. But they were doing it out of fear. They wouldn't be doing it out of love. There's no value then at that time. It's like maths, isn't it? It's just like maths then. There's no illusion for us to overcome. Now, you can feel God. Sikhi is not saying to people, believe in God. Sikhi is saying, experience God through meditation. But if we had some kind of proof that came down, like a big finger hanging down, that could only be God, pointing to people. Whenever you do something wrong, you get punished. Like for example, some people say, oh, my dad was a good person. How come he suffered in his life? I don't believe in God anymore. Because if he was good, he should get good. And I was thinking about this. I was thinking that's a strange thing to think. Because firstly, there's reincarnation, pishle karam. Now we know there's people in this world that got a lot of money, done a lot of bad stuff, and they don't seem to be suffering for it, right? So you think, how come they're not suffering for being such bad people? Well, Guru Sahib has told us that ki pura nyao kare kartar, that Waheguru gives full justice. When that person dies, they get the full benefit and all the costs of what they did. You can't escape Dharam Raj's justice. He knows everything. Now obviously, if you're going to do something in your past life, every time you did something wrong, something bad happened to you, let's say you give someone a slap, and suddenly you feel the slap on your face. I remember watching that program a long time ago, Red Dwarf. I don't know if anybody watched it, remember that program. And Red Dwarf, they went to this planet once, and on that planet, whenever you did something wrong, straight away something wrong happened to you. So you slapped someone, you felt it on your face, not on their face. Yeah? And the thing is that people just started becoming sensible. They never did anything wrong. Because they knew if I do something wrong, I'll get it back in my face. Then you would never have any action that you could do wrong. Because the minute you did something wrong, you'd get it back on you. She said, my dad was good. How come nothing bad happened to me? Why bad stuff happened to me? Because good people that are bad sometimes get away with it, don't they? So we think, but the reality is no one gets away with anything. We all get judged. So if in your last life you did what came across as, wrong actions, but you were judged for it, in your next life you're going to have to, as you sow, so shall you reap. Now in your next life you might be a really good person, but that karmic law is still there. Maharaj says the only way to get rid of that karma from Pishle Janam is to come over here and do Naam. And Naam will burn away all your sins. But if you didn't do Naam, let's say you were a good person but you didn't do Naam, Maharaj says Sunaya dukh paap ka naas. The paap becomes naas. If you didn't do it, you'd have to bhugatna payega. You have to then eat it, what you did. Now, if you ate what you did, you got that suffering, right? But just imagine a world then, if we didn't have that system, where you didn't have to sow what you did, there'd be no justice. So we accept that God's going to give us justice. But also the illusion must be a little bit fake, innit? It's got to look real, the illusion. Otherwise, what will be the point? So Maharaj just created this world which looks like there is no God. And it functions just like there is no God. And it convinces everybody that there is no God out there. So the system has to be such that it looks like there is no God. Because that's the mystery, right? So then we can start walking towards God. And yet we can have proof of God within that system. We can have proof because by reading Simran we can experience them. But the reality is that reincarnation is true and karma is true. But the way it works is, it doesn't work the way you would think. You don't just do good and get good straight away. There has to be some kind of illusion out there. It has to look real that you didn't get it. But Maharaj is saying, experience the divine. That's why Sikhi is not like other religions. We're not trying to say to people, believe in God. We're trying to say, experience God. Now how are we supposed to experience God? We're sitting in a Gurdwara now. This is the place to experience God. Sachkhand. Bhai Gurdwara says, Sad Sangat Sachkhand hai. You don't say there's no Sachkhand anywhere else. This is Sachkhand for us. So how are we going to experience God here? We're going to experience God by singing Bani and by saying Waheguru and by serving the Sad Sangat. These are the three ways of meeting Waheguru: Kirtan, Seva and Simran. Gurdwara is all about those three things. Maharaj is saying that you're at the top of your head, the Dasam Dwar. You can experience God. Most of the world would tell us that we are like iPhone touches, iPods. iPod hasn't got airplane mode. It's always on airplane mode, it's not a phone. But some of us are like, we're actually iPhones, we can connect to God. But the problem is, we get convinced that we are on airplane mode the whole time, and that's normal. It's not normal not to connect. It's normal to connect. So the only way we can make it normal to connect is by saying Waheguru, Waheguru, Waheguru. With that experience of God, all of the illusions, all the param in our mind will start to leave. We'll start to experience, there is a truth out there. It's such. And that such, Adi Sach, Jugraj Sach, Happy Sach, Nanak, Hosi Pi Sach. When we see the truth that's inside us and outside, then we realize, although the world looks very fake, looks very real, it's all fake. Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji Maharaj, the kids all coming in. Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji Maharaj says, Jo sapna arpe khna, aise jag ko jaan, inme kat sacho nahi, nanak bin bhagwan. Like a play, like a dream, that's how real the world is. But the illusion has to be real, otherwise it wouldn't work. We'd never believe in it. So the illusion is real, at the same time it's fake. The truth is that apart from Waheguru, nothing else is real. And scientifically that's true as well. If something came from something, right, that all that exists is that previous cause. The real world itself doesn't exist. So Maharaj has made this world like this, ek oankar, then it's going to destroy, palla ho jana. So we're going to get destroyed back to ik. Maharaj says in Bani many times that the world has come up, it's going to go back. Maharaj says, Kai baar pasre upasar, sada sada ek oankar. Many times the world was created and it will all get destroyed. We're getting a bit noisy now. We'll finish off Sanghaji because it's my time. Only thing I wanted to say is, the last thing is that it's a very common argument people make against religion. They say that religion is a root of a lot of arguments, conflict. They say religion has caused so many wars, religion has caused so many problems in this world. What do we answer to that? If someone says religion is really bad, it's caused so many problems. The only answer is this: Kam, Krodh, Lobh, Moh, Ahankar have caused problems. Not religion, people. People fight. I never saw Guru Granth Sahib Ji picking up a kirpan and fighting. No one saw the Quran with a kirpan in his hand. People fought. And people are subject to Kam, Krodh, Lobh, Moh, Ahankar. So people fight, not religions. The reality is that religion is not the cause of conflict, people are the cause of conflict. And where there's people that have done bad, there's also people that have done good. Look at our religion, for example. Our religion stopped wars. The Sikhs of the old days, they stopped battles happening. You might say, well, what do you mean? They stopped. People were getting, zulm was happening, bad stuff was happening, and the Sikhs went and stopped it. That's what the dharmi person does. A dharmi person, a religious person, a moral person stops bad stuff happening. And for that you need a kirpan. Kirpa karne vaste. Kisi hor de utte kirpa karne vaste. On te kirpa karne vaste, you do kirpan. And that's what Guru Sahib has blessed us. Not a weapon to offend people with, but a weapon to defend people with. So, and it is true that in the Sikh army, there was Muslims. I heard an example recently, and I want to bring that up because people might think, oh, you're against the religion. You know, when Bata Singh Bahadur came back from, when he came from Hazur Sahib to Sirhind, The first thing he did was, he took badla on the Sirhand for what they'd done to Chote Sahibzade. The next thing he did is take badla for Pir Buddhu Shah's sons. Pir Buddhu Shah, his whole family was sacrificed as well, fighting alongside Guru Gobind Singh Ji Maharaj. And what happened to them was that their family itself was, I believe, was made to cause to suffer because they sided on the side of Guru Gobind Singh Ji. So Banda Singh Bahadur and his soldiers went and took revenge for that as well. Revenge or badla, whatever you call it, deliver justice. So, actually, the only two things that are in the world for us is dharam and adharam. There's people that are dharmi people, the good guys, and there's adharmi people, the bad guys. And Japji Sahib says the same thing to us. Maharaj says, asang jap, asang pao, asang puja, asang tapatao. These people are the dharmi people, yeah? They're the good guys. Many types of people that do jap, many types of people that do tap. But they're all good people. We're not here to convert them. We're not here to change their ways. They can do what they like. Let them do japna. Let them do tapna. Let them love God in whichever way they find works for them. But then there's the next side, next group of people. Asanga papi, paap kar jaye. Those people, the next body, that's the adharmi people. That's who we have to fight. So you see, Maharaj has given us that in all the world, there is this yin-yang. Yeah? There's black and there's white. And the battle is actually for the people on the side of the dharma to go and destroy the people that are adharmi. Now you might say, well, that doesn't sound right. Why did God create the whole situation? Guru Gobind Singh Maharaj tells us why it happened. Maharaj says right at the beginning of Vasri Bhagavati Ji ki, the second body, Maharaj says ki tahi Maharaj says ki sirje dano devte then andar baad rachaya. You made the Danav and you made the Devta. You made the good people, the demigods, and you made the demons. Sirje Dano Devte, then Andar Baad Rachaya, Tahi Durga Sajke, Daitada Nas Karaya. Then you made Durga to destroy the dead. So Sikhs have been made as well. They made the good and they made the bad. And then they made the Khalsa. And the Khalsa carries a Shastra on itself, like this. Vasri Bhagavati Ji ki. Bhagavati for us is a kirpan. And we carry that Bhagavati to go out there and finish off this battle of good and bad. Take it to Satjug. So we're here to create Satjug. Yeah? And the only way we can do that is by following Guru Sahib's hukum, which is Naam and Kirpan maybe. Two things with new rhyming like Naam and Kirpan. The point is that Sikhi is Deg Fateh. To give people food and to give people justice. So, Maharaj Kirpa Kare, I'm sure I don't know how I digressed, but if I have digressed, my apologies. My point was that every single argument I've heard from an atheist, Sikhi has an answer to it. A very simple answer. Only problem is that we Sikhs need to get out there and start giving that message to the world. It's not enough to keep it to ourselves, we have to spread it. So, one way we can spread it very easily is to make it at least accessible to people in English. Well, stuff like recording it, putting it on YouTube. I know that there's classes here, people do it. My Benti to Sevadars here that are doing their classes to record them as well. Yeah? Put them up on YouTube. Let the world learn. Make a website called Sikhi for Kids or something. You know, just whatever you can do in this Kaljug to spread the light, we should try our best to do it. Because the Panth is ours. It's our Panth. It's not some one Jatebandhi's Panth, other Jatebandhi's Panth. It's our Panth. And Guru Gobind Singh Maharaj says, Panth vase, main ujra, mana chao kanira. Let the Panth flourish. Even if we get destroyed, let the Panth flourish. So, ye benti hegi. If you get confused about certain things, let's have vichar in Gurdwara. Let's think and talk more about our history. Let's teach Sikhi. And if you wish to support us in doing that in English, then obviously do spread the word about the YouTube channel. You can take some of these leaflets and the street prachar we're doing. This is the leaflet we use for street prachar. You can have a look at that. They're up here. I'm sure I've made loads of mistakes in that. So please forgive me. Thanks to the Gurdwara Vinder Singh for calling me here. Pulling to Kadikhe Baksin Ji. Gurfada Jawab Ji, Gaj ki Akhra, Vaheguru Ji ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji ki Fateh.